Chapter 10, the conveyancing steps. Okay, step 1, pre-contract stage. Drafting and sending documents. The seller's solicitor prepares the draft contract and gathers necessary documents such as title deeds and property information forms. The draft contract and those forms are sent to the buyer's solicitor, who then raises any necessary inquiries with the seller's solicitor and conducts local authority searches and any other relevant searches to uncover any issues affecting the property. The buyer arranges a survey to assess the property's condition. The buyer's mortgage lender will also conduct a valuation survey. The buyer's mortgage company will then produce a mortgage offer. The buyer's solicitor sends the mortgage pack to the buyer to sign and return. The buyer's solicitor will then review the draft contract, the searches, the survey reports, and then report to the buyers. Any necessary negotiations or amendments are made to the contract at this point. Step 2, exchange of contract. So once both parties are satisfied, the buyer and the seller sign identical copies of the contract. The buyer sends deposit monies to their solicitor, usually 5 to 10% of the property's purchase price as a minimum. There may be more. The buyer's solicitor pays a deposit to the seller's solicitor at exchange of contracts. This is where contracts are formally exchanged and both parties are then legally bound to the transaction. The completion date is agreed upon and inserted into that contract. Step 3, pre-completion stage. So preparation for completion here. The buyer's solicitor prepares a transfer deed and other necessary documents for completion. If there are any final searches, they're done here. And step 4 is completion. So on completion day, the buyer's solicitor transfers the remaining purchase funds to the seller's solicitor. The seller's solicitor confirms receipt of the funds and authorises the release of the keys to the buyer. Handover of the keys, the buyer then takes possession of the properties and keys are handed over. At step 5, post-completion stage, you have registration of the title. The buyer's solicitor registers a change of ownership with the land registry. The land registry issues a new title deed reflecting the buyer as the legal owner, and the stamp duty is paid. So the buyer's solicitor ensures that the stamp duty, land tax, SDLT, is paid to the HMRC. And then the file is closed. The solicitor concludes the transaction, provides the buyer with legal documents and closes the file, and it's yours.